Good morning, good morning, cross watchers. Divine of the divine feminines. Today I will be pulling some energy, which I will be starting to do every week around this time in the morning. To see what's going on with the divine feminine, then the divine masculine. So if you haven't already, please do me one favor and like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel. Let's get my viewers up. Let's get the word across. Again, I've been doing this for 5 years. If y'all haven't known, I just started the YouTube channel a year ago, and I am ready to excel. You can follow me also on Clubhouse. If you see me looking down, I'm also recording on YouTube as well as TikTok. So I do want to pull some energy for the divine feminines. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you are not a divine feminine, do not make yourself. You are. Again, like I said, please follow me on Clubhouse if you have a Clubhouse, because I will be starting my discussions about the sacred feminine. I will have a couple of speakers that will be joining me on Clubhouse to do this. Also, if you haven't already, please go to my Facebook and go to my business page and subscribe to it, so that way you'll be caught up with what's going on in my reading business and stuff like that, in my spirituality. I post different things. I'm gonna start using it more frequently for posting my YouTube videos and stuff like that. So if you are not in there, you will be missing out. A lot of people, it's on my personal page, so I still do kind of post there, but that will all be ending soon. So again, if you haven't already, go to my Facebook business page, which is Queen Z's Readings. Also follow me on Instagram at Queen Z Denise. And let's go. Let's get this reading started, y'all. Good morning. I hope everybody had a good night. Well, as my friends are starting to try to get me in the groove of saying Grand Rising. So, like I said, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share. This is the weekly Divine Feminine check-in for the week of January the 14th through the 21st. Let's see. Divine Feminines, I will be pulling 4 cards for the Divine Feminine. I also am going to pull some shadow cards to see what shadow work the Divine Feminines are working on at this point. And I'm also going to pull a couple of love cards and see how she feel about the connection and with her love life. So again, I'm going to pull 4 cards for the Divine Feminine to see where is her energy for January the 14th through the 21st. Can I get 3 more cards for the Divine Feminine? Oh, got me 3 exactly. All right. So the first card that came out is compassion. The first card that came out is compassion. Let me turn on this light a little bit. Take the glare out. Maybe not. Let's see. There we go. So down here, I have to bring it this way. There's still a lot of glare. But you got compassion. Then the second card is the crown chakra. Then you have emergence. Then you have realization. So, without even reading the definition, a lot of divine feminines having compassion for a lot of situations. Oh, this light is kind of gleaming. Let me change the tone real quick. All right. I might look a little darker right now, but I'll lighten it back up. But when I see compassion next to crown chakra, this automatically let me know that the divine feminines are learning to take the good and the bad and transmute it into one thing. and she's learning her darks and her light sides by doing this, by opening up the crown chakra, by having compassion. Is, how can I say, it's taking some of the blockages away from what she is always done, or how she always felt, or how she always moved. Then with emergency and realization, I do feel like she's starting to realize certain things don't have to block her blessings. It doesn't have to. It doesn't deserve her reaction. But compassion reads, the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through the heart and into the world. So what I am feeling, the divine feminine is no longer allowing a lot of things to turn her cold. Maybe she's holding and compressing some of the emotions that she dealt with a lot of issues that she dealt with life. So what she's doing now, she's learning to stand by certain people without basically attaching her emotions to it and not allowing it to, how can I say it, make her bitter. Then you got crown chakra. It says the frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. So, like I said, a lot of divine feminines, they're starting to realize how to take, they're realizing their shadow side. So this is why I'm really going to do the shadow reading with this divine feminine reading, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the masculines, because we can't always just look at what's going on in the surface. We have to see what's going on internally too, because we are not just physical beings, we are spiritual beings. So compassion in the crown chakra, like I said, I do feel like the divine feminines are clearing the blockages from the crown chakra, because what happens, it transmute her from being who she's divinely guided to be. You got emergencies. It says the frequency of emergencies invite us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. So even if there's a negative situation, the divine feminines are going to start turning things into positive energy. It's like I said, they taking the good and the bad, and they digesting the bad, but they releasing it as something positive. It's like they're going to put that energy, that negative energy, into something different versus focusing their hurt and their pain, and they how can I say it? The things that was meant to beat them down, they're taking it and they running with it and using it as a key to jumpstart their life. So why is realization here? It says the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the internal process of becoming our highest expression in this world. So with all these cards, yes, I do feel like the divine feminines are going through a transformation. They're learning to transmute the negative energies. Like I said, we did just have the new moon in Capricorn that just emerged the other day. So with that being said, a lot of us are going through the new. Some of the old skin that we had attached to us, that little wrinkly ass shit, it's like you putting some skin, tough skin remover now. We tired of being the hard ass bitches. Listen, that's what I'm getting from the energy. The divine feminines are tired of holding on to the negative energy all the time. They want to be able to be the divine feminines. They want to be soft. They want to be able to manifest things with positive energy. But it's like they've been going through so much lately that it's blocked the crown chakra. It's blocked their ability to see through things. It blocked their third eye because they're not able to see through some of the situations because it's just too much. So whenever the divine feminines shut away and they start to digest some of the things, you might catch a lot of divine feminines is focusing on themselves right now. They're saying to themselves, they're keeping a lot of people from out of their environment. Is because they have to learn to transmute this energy. It's actually very vital for them for us to be able to walk in life with other people, because we're gonna hit triggers every day. But it's how we transmute it, how we utilize the energy in our own selves. So I'm gonna do a confirmation, then I'm gonna pull some shadow cards to see what's going on the shadow side, because maybe this is going to dig a little deeper to let us know why the divine feminines are being in this energy. Why are they taking in a lot of negative, and they probably for a while haven't been transmuting the negative into positive energy. So let's see, why is compassion here for the divine feminines? Something about the world in reverse. I feel like some divine feminines need a change in their world. So Queen of Swords. So when it comes down to compassion, a lot of divine feminists need mental clarity. I do feel that they're very, very strict about how they feel about things, how they allow certain things to mentally pull them away from who they genuinely are. So they're having compassion for situations. But I do feel like for some divine feminists, this is more so them having compassion for their own selves, for not having their world come in the direction that they wanted, because you got the world in reverse. And that means everything is not coming together in their world. Everything is not piecing the puzzle together, but there's a reason why. Because maybe the divine feminists haven't been given mental clarity because they never received mental clarity. I'm actually going to pull another card. Why is compassion here for the divine feminines? Yeah, some things didn't show promising growth because you got the Two of Wands upright. So when I see these three cards on top of compassion, again, compassion says the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our hearts and into the world. So I do feel like a lot of divine feminine has not received clarity about that. They don't know who to give this energy to, because maybe in the past they have and it didn't change nothing in their world. So it makes it hard for them to have compassion for everybody, because again, a lot of divine feminists is learning they have to protect themselves as well, but they're looking to grow with somebody. They're looking to grow for growth. They don't want to give compassion to situations that's not going nowhere. They don't want to give compassion to situations that's not like it's not helping change that world. So it's like this. A lot of divine feminines, we are light workers, and with being a light worker, you're here on a mission, and it's to help humanity evolve into a better situation or give a little light to some people's situations. So what I do feel like the reason why the divine feminines are becoming more bitter to situations is because they don't know who to give mental clarity to, who to be honest with, who to trust, how to show love. Because whenever forever so long they try to show love, it's like running out of options, and they're transmuting that energy into themselves. Why is the crown chakra here for the divine feminine? Oh gosh. They want to celebrate love, but I also feel like for some they want to celebrate, but there's probably a three-party situation dealing with them. And a three-party situation doesn't have to be another person. It could be somebody's addiction, somebody, family members. It could be anything in that sort. So the crown chakra reads again, the frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our abilities to transmute negative energy into life. For some, I do feel like the divine feminines do want to celebrate. They want to be able to rejoice with other people. They want to be able to spend quality time with people and feel happy. We're gonna get one more confirmation. Why is the Three of Cups on top of the crown chakra for the divine feminine's energy for January the 14th through the 21st? Victory. They want to feel victorious. Everybody may think that divine feminine don't want to be herself. Oh, she wants to be herself, but she needs to feel this. But I feel like from the past, she put energy into situations that did not allow her to stand mentally. It's like some people mind fucked her. She took a lot of losses in the past, and it didn't change nothing in her world, and it didn't help grow nothing in her. So it's like this. Divine feminines don't no longer want to low blow themselves. They want to grow. They want to be in situations where they can evolve because they know who they are and they know what they're here to do. And it's like anything that's going against their mission, they do not want that to happen. So I do feel like a lot of divine feminines want to celebrate with people, want to be happy for people, want to be happy with people, but they can't because they don't know who to trust. It's more dealing with trust issues than anything. Can I get one more confirmation for the crown chakra for the a lot of wands energy? So it's two more confirmations. You got the crown chakra, you got the three of cups, you got the six of wands, you got the what is it? The eight of swords in reverse, and then you got the three of wands upright. So this could be dealing with a love situation. I do feel like for some divine feminines, they wanted to grow with somebody, but the world, it never changed, so they can't have compassion for the situation because maybe in the past they constantly put the same energy involved, and they want to celebrate and be victorious with the person, but it's like they got to keep looking further because they're not getting that fourth wand. There's no commitment. There's no stability there. It's like the divine feminine is saying, how could I go from 2 to 6 to 3? I'm cutting myself short. They no longer blindsided about the past. It's not that they mentally don't have clarity about the situations from the past. It's just how could they celebrate if there's no change in the environment that they're dealing with when they come down to the situation. They went from the two of wands when they did have compassion. They felt like maybe time will tell, growth will happen. But in due time, the world didn't ever change, so they did not have mental clarity with dealing with that. They had mental clarity with dealing with it, but they wasn't able to give mental clarity to others because of there was no growth in the situation. And they want to celebrate, they want to feel victorious and all, but they saying, how do I go from 2 to 6 feeling victorious and down to 3, so I cut myself short. And I don't feel like it's no more, they don't have mental clarity with stuff. Interesting. Read Divine Feminines. Interesting. Why is emergencies here for the Divine Feminine? Yeah. Somebody to stand on their word. So emergencies read. The frequency of emergencies invites us to approach our reality with childlike attitude and of attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty of that unfolds from that place. So, like I said in the past, the divine feminists may have dealt with situations where they stayed because they wanted to see something grow. Because you got the Page of Wands, they stayed. It may was like a premature stay, but they stayed because they wanted to see something grow. They thought something would grow with them, or over time it would grow. Why is the Page of Wands on top of emergencies for the divine feminines for January the 14th? Anxiety. In some ways, it caused them anxiety. In some ways, it's causing them anxiety now. So if you are dealing with the divine feminine and you are probably wondering why she's not opening up, it's because of anxiety from the past, from times where she thought that stuff wasn't going to grow, when she tried to put in mental clarity. It's like the divine feminist May was compassionate in the beginning, like generous to everybody's situations in the beginning. I don't know who I'm reading for, but a lot of times the divine feminist was compassionate towards a lot of people, and it didn't change her world. It didn't. I feel like if you look at, this is the world card in reverse, right? But then if you look, you got the two of wands in reverse, and what do you see the guy holding in his hand? His world. Maybe the divine feminist felt like the situation she was being compassionate for, it wasn't changing her world. It was like she was changing other people's world. But what about my world? What about, and I'm going to forget what's going on over here? So I feel like a lot of divine feminines are learning that from the situation that everybody wants them to be celebrative about, or even if this is the divine masculine that she's dealing with, you want her to be victorious, but how can she be victorious when she's still healing? She doesn't want a dead end streak no more. All that shit is dead. I feel like the divine feminine is done with it because if somebody's world not changing and something is toxic and something is not growing and something can evolve, I mean, everybody go from the premature stage to the mature stage to the grown stage when it comes down to relating with somebody. Even in ourselves, we go from adolescence to a teenager to a young adult to a full grown adult. It has nothing to do with not feeling mentally stable with a situation. It's more so with knowing that it's tangible, knowing that it's going to go somewhere, knowing that it's not going to be stuck and stagnated. So when I see emergency emerges, and then you got the Ten of Wands upright with the Page of Wands, I do feel like this is dealing with a connection not going nowhere because this is 11 Wands. And what I do feel like the Page of Wands with, it's like she don't want to deal with somebody that's scared, that's afraid. The frequency of emergencies invites us to approach our reality with childlike attitudes of innocence and wonderment. And to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. I do feel like maybe somebody, it may not be the divine feminine, but she feel like somebody is afraid. So she gives this person premature offers. I'm gonna get one more clarification. Oh, yeah. Somebody stays up late worried. It could be the divine feminine. Maybe she is in the energy of allowing this to bother her because she knows where her world is. And it's like maybe the divine feminine is going through anxiety. She has mental clarity, but mentally it's not coming up off of her. This is interesting. So why is realization here for the divine feminine? Whoa. Oh, wow. So realization says, the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the internal process of our heart, of becoming our highest expression in this world. So I do feel like the divine the divine feminines do feel like that this situation may wasn't strong enough for them, because if this is nothing but fire, energy, passion, love, remorse, I feel like this person wants to be happy. They realize what makes them happy. The divine feminine is realizing what makes them happy and what doesn't make them strong. Maybe they feel like they're coming to the point of a two-sided situation with this. Maybe you are the divine masculines. You do make them happy, but it doesn't make them strong. Meaning that it could compromise their ability of strength. Can I get one more confirmation for the divine feminines? Well, they gave me two, and I'm gonna take it. Yeah, no justice in the. She's realizing there's no justice in this situation. So if you are dealing with the divine feminine, I'm gonna go through the full reading. I'm gonna sum it up a little bit. And she looked at the fruits of her labor, but she still got that one pinnacle. That means that one more investment into herself. So again, back compassion. A lot of the divine feminines in the past received mental clarity about something that wasn't going to change or help them to grow in their world. It's like when you dealing with a spiritual connection, you should be able to evolve. Not saying you rush the other person, but you and that person should be on the same frequency. Like your mind should be alike about certain situations. If it's not, then 9 times out of 10, you may be dealing with a soulmate, but that person is going to be somebody that's only there to help evolve you into a higher being to a certain point. I do feel like some divine feminines may have was dealing because they're not their ability not to have compassion for the situation may come from in the past they had compassion for the situation, but they want to celebrate with this person. They want to be able to have feel victorious with this person, but I still feel like they took a L, they took a loss in everything that they was doing when it came down to moving forward. It's like they it got stuck, it stagnated, it just stopped. So I do feel like they're no longer in the energy of not feeling like they like thinking about the past all the time. It's more so what's taking place now. And I do feel like because of emergency here, the divine feminists don't want to deal with somebody that's afraid of the connection. And when she's offering something that's steady and that's going to take somebody somewhere, it may not be a big thing, but it's like I offered you something. And she's not trying to still be up late worried about situations. And when realization comes, she realizing what makes her happy. Yes, you may be a part of her happiness, but it's not making her strong as a person. And there is no justice with dealing with the situation because she's probably invested so much into it that it didn't get nowhere. All right, so this is the general reading. I'm actually going to go ahead and get the shadow cards. We're going to take a look at the divine feminine shadow side to see what is she dealing with when it comes down to shadow work. And then I'm going to pull some love cards for you. Here we go. Just give me one moment while I shuffle these cards real quick so we can get y'all a good little shadow reader. I'm going to pull 4 cards from that as well. These are new cards, so I might go to the book to get a deeper definition on the card, which I'm going to just pull it out. But I'm fluently able to read the energy from the cards, but I also like to get the deeper message. So let's see what is taking place with the divine feminines when it come down to their shadow side. What shadow work are they taking? What shadow work is taking place with the divine feminines? If you haven't already, please follow me on Clubhouse. And also, please like, subscribe, and share to my YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Let's get these viewers up. And if you are on Facebook, if you would like to book a reading, you can actually go to my Facebook page, which is Queen Z's Readings. And if you on Instagram, you can DM me at Queen Z Denise. All right, so I'm gonna take 4 cards for the divine feminine shadow work. What is going on with the divine feminine shadow side? Okay. Can I get 3 more cards for the divine feminine? 2 more. And this just came out in her reading. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So divine feminine, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you are, wow. This actually came out in her other reading. Wow. This is dope. This is dope. So the first card that came out, which I'm going to read from the book because the first card that came out, I'm going to actually go and I'm going to read it from the book. So you got parasite. When I see this, I feel like there's something eating the divine feminine's up. Like there's still something that she's dealing with that she needs to heal, and it's like an enigma that won't leave. A parasite is something that is very hard to get rid of, and it feeds off of you. So I do feel like when this is parasite, I feel like her shadow side, which is like probably her insecurities and how she feel about herself, is actually a part of this parasite. But then you got the child I was meant to be. That's interesting because something like that came out in the reading. It said something about if I can remember. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Y'all could go back and read it, but it slipped my mind that quick. So I do feel like with parasite and the child I was meant to be, these 2 cards next to each other, it represents a tale of somebody that once was so genuine and so loving that life ate away at that childlike mentality where she was able to be vulnerable and open up and grow as a healthy flower or a healthy bud. Um, then you got hiding your true self. Like I said, geez, this is interesting. I'm gonna be honest because it's confirmation of the previous reading. It's confirmation, and then it's peaceful among thorns. Wow, this is deep. This is a deep card. When I see peaceful among thorns, I feel like this card is saying that I can stand in a lot of pain. I can handle a lot of pain. I can handle a lot of hurt. I dealt with it all my life. So this is the parasite that the divine feminines got used to. And when I feel like they can't be themselves, this is what they hiding. They can't be the child that they used to be because they've been through so much. So it's like it's about the healing process. And I do feel like she's genuinely hiding her true identity because, again, in the past, she probably was able to open up and show people who she genuinely was, but they shut her down. They hurt her feelings. They made her feel like she wasn't somebody. So let's see the number 8 card. Oh, it opened up right to it. No. All right, the number 8 card reads: The child I was meant to be. To go forward is to go backwards, as hope and heal the wounds of the past. Like I said, divine feminines dealt with a lot of child wounds, of childhood traumas, trust issues, dealing with people that she gave her trust and they actually put her in a situation where she couldn't trust nobody. This is this card. And the divine feminists can't trust everybody. So it's like they have to go backwards and heal these childlike wounds. And this is coming from childbirth, from a child, how people treated her, all the way up until now. Like some people took advantage of that childlike mentality that she had. So now as an adult, it scarred her. But it says going dark. This is the shadow side to this. This book shows like a little story, I guess. So it says, there is a little darkness in this card. It is a card of connection with ourselves. So many times it feels like dreams. It's fleeting, uncertain, and yet clear. The moment you close your hand to grasp it, it turns into fairy light and disappears. But it remains as a lingering smell and infinite feeling of light. In peaches and blossom, it is faith, it is hope, it is warm. Smile at the other side of the forest of smoke and mirrors. We can be whole again. We can be pure again. We can be happy again. No matter what we did, we can. Just know this is a gift of light among the cruel darkness. It brings no road, sometimes no solace, but it can become a seed of hope, a wind of change, a place of safety in the storm. Even if it's gone, it was definitely here. So in the past, like I said, I always say in the reading, and this always come up, the divine feminine still have that little girl inside of them where they hope for love and had compassion for people and wanted so many things out of life that I feel like the reason why this has is dealing with their childhood trauma, they have to relieve some of the things that they've been through, and it's been hard for them to do that because, again, as an adult, the same type of energies keep resurfacing in her life. So it's a shadow side to her now. She tries to submerge that, and this is deep. I'm not gonna even lie, this is kind of deep because me as a divine feminine, I can relate. Let's see the number 19 card, Parasite. Number 19 card, the parasite, like I said earlier, the parasite, I do feel like it's everything that she ever been through that still eats away at her. So it says, what can't survive alone will seek company, but instead of growing together, they will wither together. Hmm, that's kind of weird. I do feel like this again is the divine feminine, good and dark side is comfortable with being alone because it's like it's interesting to the soul and the physical. It's like, okay, I want to be certain things, but my confidence is there, but it's like I don't trust people, so I can't show that confidence that I do have in myself when it comes down to living every day. But it says relationships are not a zero sum game. Of course, using each other is part of the game, but it's quite different when you take the shape of supporting rather than manipulating and exploiting in the long run. A good relationship is a win win, where the more I give, the more I get, and the other way around. Still, it's not always like this, is it? Isn't it? Not just in bad relationships in the short run. Bad is bound to happen even in the house of true love. Wow. This is interesting. Let's finish. This is telling a good story. So, of true love, we cling, we bite, we hunger for safety and freedom, support, and on the other side, we get mangled, bitten, demanded on. Well, it happens, it happened, and it will happen again. It is a part of the game. But if it happens too often, it creates a toxic environment. It doesn't matter if we are the victim or the perpetrator. As poison as poison is shared equally, one gets the pain, another gets the advantage. But the toxic part, they both get fully a parasite, a leech kills itself as much as it kills the host. It sacrificed the journey to the destination and then the destination to its own failures. The problem is not living as sheep, but the true problem is living as sheep for 100 years. So it's like this. Like I said in the past, the divine feminines may have attached to some people and it caused them to hurt. But if this keep happening, it becomes toxic. Like I do feel like the divine feminines are aware that shit does happen in love, especially with real true love, because it's you and the other person both have some things that y'all both got to work on. This is why I feel like this is the divine feminine coming to realization of how she needs to heal herself internally and what she needs not to accept. And even if it's losing her soul connection, is fine because it has to work in her. It has to work out in a way where she's not being taken advantage of or she's not losing from something. So when I do see parasite and then I see the child I was meant to be, she wants somebody to bring that childlike mentality back out of her, that so vulnerable person. But if people keep on taking advantage of even down to the soul connection, because like Parasite said, who says that true love doesn't have its own demise, but it becomes toxic when it's a revolving door, when it keep happening. So I do feel like the divine feminine is learning her boundaries and what she needs to cut off when it comes down to love. Hiding your true self. This is an interesting card. Like I said, I do feel like the divine feminine does have a side to her that she wants to express, but probably in the past, every time she went to go express that, people took advantage of that. So she wasn't able to be that no more. So she puts on this hard persona. She uses her shadow side versus her her spiritual side, her soul beautiful side to who she is. So why is hiding your true self here? Let's see. So it says you could be in front of the mirror or you could hide behind the mirror. Yet you choose to be the mirror. Mm, wow. So divine feminines, you chose to be the reflection for many people. You showed people who you were, face front, even if it was to help to evolve other people into being better people. You showed them. So you chose to be the mirror, right? I do feel like before I read on, it's like more so even with your soul connection, because that's who you are. When you dealing with a twin flame, you're the mirror of that other person. The other person is the mirror of you. I feel like Spirit is saying you chose this destiny because you was meant to help vibrate another person higher to come up out of certain situation. It was 11:11 when I said that on the timer on my phone. So It says hiding is a survival instinct. Do you want to be honest and truly be yourself? Very few people will accept you then. You are too complicated to be comfortable, too contradictory to be easy, too exceptional to be believed, too plain to be considered. You can be the sun, you can be the moon, you can be the door, you can be the road, you can be the butterfly and the brick. Maybe the question is not if, but when. Sometimes real solitude is when there is not a right moment to be yourself and not the right person. And neither the right way. Being yourself is like a moment at the spot. It is a message for the soul, a purification process that brings in oxygen and turns away age and wear. It is bliss and pleasure. So again, like I do feel, the divine feminists have a side to them where they want to show their true selves. They are beautiful women. They souls reek of essence and beauty. But it's been so hard for the divine feminist to show that side to everybody because, again, she's timid and afraid. This is something that she probably did before. This is interesting, guys. Let's see. So now we got the 26 card. And then I'm going to put some lesson cards just to confirm this reading, see what lessons are being learned in order to clear up for the divine feminist to heal this part of themselves. So you got peaceful among thorns. Coexistence of the material and spiritual is a human way to enlightenment. So I do feel like when I read this in the past, it's like the divine feminists are learning lessons as they are going along. One lesson is probably in the past, the divine feminist was all about the money, about looking fly, about being this person that everybody admired or whatever. And it's like now the divine feminists don't want to be that no more. They're going backwards into understanding. So something, like I said, I feel like a lot of divine feminists are going through healing, and what they're doing is eliminating some things out of their world, but it may be taking them time, but they know what they need to dismiss and they know what they don't want to attach to anymore because in the past it was just something that kept them comfortable. So it says we talk too much about spiritual stuff, spiritual that, spiritual this. Not that the spiritual side isn't important, especially in an age when everything seems reduced to materialistic drive. But aren't we going too much to the other side? I have a money problem. Go spiritual. I have a health problem. Go spiritual. I have a love problem. Think of true love and go spiritual. I want to have sex. Go spiritual. If we were truly able to solve problems like this, what is spiritual would have been sold in the grocery stores. Sometimes to solve money problems, you need money. And to solve love problems, you need to fuck. Strange but true. This card is something wicked. Um, Getting spiritual is not what solves our problems. It is what gives depth to our solution. It makes them meaningful. It makes us from the small to the wide, from the river to the ocean. But sometimes we are not ready to make it our center, and therefore it's perfectly fine if we do not. So I feel like the shadow side of it, a lot of people want I do feel like some people feel like the divine feminine is too spiritual. Some of us are. We went full throttle. I myself, I'm going full throttle. But that's because we set in the physical and we know how hard it can be on us. And we attached ourselves to the physical for so long, but I feel like a lot of us are learning not to attach to the physical but so much. So I'm gonna pull 4 confirmation cards. I'm gonna read through this really quick, and then I am going to go ahead and pull 2 love cards just to give a closing out of this reading for the divine feminines, and then I will be right back to do the divine masculines, which I'm early, so I might just jump straight to it because I'm not scheduled to 11:45. So let's go ahead and pull 4 cards, 4 confirmations for each shadow side that a lot of the divine feminines are working on. So why is the parasite here? What is the lesson being learned with parasite? You got 2 cards. You got loneliness and self-esteem. Yes. Some things brought the negative energy. It's still dealing with the self-esteem. Yes, it is. It says, I possess gifts of the soul that benefits me and others. So I do feel like maybe the divine feminine doesn't see that who she is because of so many years she tried to be that person and people knocked her back. So you got loneliness. I know that I am never alone. So even if I feel like the divine feminine is comfortable with herself because, like I said, for some, I feel like they like their dark side. They like to sit with their own mess. They like to deal with their own problems. They like to face their own shadow sides by themselves. They don't like people to tell them about their shadow sides. That's something that they like to deal with on their own. Why is hiding your true self here for the divine feminine? Another two cards. So you got regret, a lot of regret. Like I said, a lot of divine feminines regret the past. A lot of the divine feminines regret doing things for other people. They put a lot of energy into people, and it did not get them nowhere. It did not change their world. It says, "I know that I cannot change the past." So I do feel like the reason why a lot of divine feminines they have to learn that they can't change the past. They only can deal with what's going on in the present, and they only are responsible for what's going on in the present. So it says perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. It's like the divine feminines deep inside want to show their true selves. They want to show that soft, bubbly side, that loving person, but they put a wall up whenever somebody takes advantage of that, and that's where the perseverance be at a halt. But I do feel like a lot of them is only holding back because a lot of regret. They did a lot for people in the past that it didn't get them nowhere, and it's not getting them nowhere. So it's hard for them to deal with that energy. Why is the child I was meant to be here? Guilt. Like I said, they was vulnerable and soft and sweet to people in the past, and it's hard for them to do that. So it says, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul growth. So anything that does not pursue the divine feminine to being a better person is something that she's dealing with. So they're learning their inner child. They still want to be that person, but if some people are not accepting of it, they gotta release these people. Why is peaceful among thorns here? Service. Like I said in the other reading, divine feminists for so long have always been the person that people could go to and get help from because that's who she is here. She's here on a mission, and that's to help bring joy to other people's lives, even for a moment, and to get them to vibrate on a higher level, to wake them up to society trying to destroy their people's happiness. And in services, I feel good when I can help others. The divine feminists want to help others. They want to be different people. That's just who they are. But I do feel like in the past they've been taken advantage of with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these cards up, and we are now going to go and pull two cards for the divine feminine with love. See where her headspace is when it comes down to love. And I'm gonna use these for clarification. All right, so let me shuffle these a little bit, and then I'm going to be closing off this reading with this little love, little expose. And if you would like to book a reading, please, again, DM me on Instagram or on Facebook. Facebook is Queen Z's Readings. Instagram is Queen Z's and Needs. And if you are on Clubhouse, I'm going to ask you again, please follow me. It is at Queen Z's and Needs. Please like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel as well. Let's get these viewers up. Let's get these subscribers up. Let me change that. I got views, but I need subscribers. So, can I get two cards? And I'm not even going to flip them over yet. Can I get one more card for the Divine Feminine? Oh, okay. So, the first card is Express Your Love. Oh, like I said, the Divine Feminines want to express their love. They want to be open with somebody. But if you look at this card, you see the reason why I know why a lot of Divine Feminines don't share that love. Because you see how the guy is pulling away from her, so she doesn't know. And she doesn't know. And then she wants to have a heart-to-heart conversation. It's a divinely guided conversation. But again, whoever she wants to communicate with, they don't listen. They don't listen. This is interesting. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit and then I'm going to confirm this. And then we're going to be closing out this reading. And then I will be right back with the divine masculine. Look, Tony Braxton's song came on right when I'm doing the love reader for divine feminines. All right, wise express your love here for the divine feminines. What energy is she in for the week of January? Okay, King of Swords. And you got the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like this can be dealing with the masculine or a masculine male that's in the divine feminine's life when it comes down to love. Hold on one second. Give me one. All right, I am back. Hold on one second. One second. I am so sorry. All right. So, like I said earlier, I do feel like the divine feminists want to express their love, but I feel like this King of Swords is the masculine, and it's like this person is in control of their emotion, of their mental. They don't give mental clarity to situations, and I do feel like the reason why the divine feminines, there's probably in the past or dealing with a situation where it was off balance. But I feel like they don't want to be off balance when it comes down to them expressing their love. It's like balancing something out within myself so that way I can express myself. And I do feel like this is because in the past it says go ahead and make the romantic gesture. In the past, maybe the divine feminines did make the romantic gestures towards the masculines and they shut them down. So it's like the divine feminines don't know how to be vulnerable anymore with the masculine. King of Swords and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So this is not being able to make a decision, not being able to balance something out. Can I get one more confirmation for express your love for the divine feminine? Ooh. So you got the Knight of Pentacles, a protected offer, something tangible, something physical, something that they could grasp onto. I do feel like a lot of divine feminines do not express their love because they wait for the divine masculines to express it first, which I can understand because maybe in the past he's no longer juggling a decision, or maybe she's no longer trying to juggle a decision that's being made about somebody giving an offer to her. And I feel like it's because the masculines, or maybe she's in the King of Swords energy with standing with mental clarity. She doesn't have mental clarity, so she's not going to give mental clarity. Why is heart to heart conversation here for the divine feminine? Yep. Not being burdened. not being burdened by somebody not being able to make a study offer, somebody not being able to tell the truth, somebody not being able to tell them how they really genuinely feel. They don't want to be burdened by a conversation that they want to have with the other person because the other person probably shut them down. Let's see. Can I get another confirmation card? Why is the Ten of Wands here? The Seven of Wands. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I said, they want to go past. So they want to have mental clarity with dealing with something. They want to move past the murky water. They want to get past all the heavy emotions with dealing with this conversation. But it's like whoever they want to have the conversation with, if the person is not listening, it's making it hard for them, so they don't want to feel burdened or fight against their own actions. Or I feel like some of the divine feminists are fighting their actions with this conversation because they don't feel like the conversation can get them somewhere. They want the conversation to take them somewhere. Can I get another confirmation? Yeah, no justice. This came out earlier. There's no justice with communication with dealing with this person. All right, everybody, this is the Divine Feminine reading. If you are still going to be on my YouTube channel, I will be right back. Less than 5 minutes to do the Divine Masculines reading, the same way I just did the Divine Feminines. Please follow me on Clubhouse. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel, Queen Z Spiritual Insight. And this was your weekly Divine Feminine reading from January the 14th to the 21st. I will see you guys again on the 21st. Have a good one.